Hey guys, it's Rob here and welcome back to another video. So in this video we are going to cover some of the latest Nintendo Switch news, but we're also going to talk about some stuff that I haven't talked about yet. I've been working on the channel upgrades and different things for the channel, so I've been focusing more on that. So I did miss a lot of stuff in the past like 2 weeks, so there are a couple things here and there from probably the past week that I'm going to talk about. The new stuff will be in the front of the video, and then the stuff that I want to talk about will be in the back half of the video. So you'll get the new stuff first. I won't talk about the Nintendo Direct stuff yet because I'm going to make that tomorrow. So if you do want the Nintendo Direct video on all the stuff that's going on with that, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I will be giving a sort of preview of the stuff I've been working on the channel. Here's just like a small preview right now. I'll show the rest of the stuff in the next video. I think it's turning out pretty great, and I think it's going to pair well with the different character animations and models that I've been making for my other characters as well. But with that being said, let's start with the first topic. So first up, we do have Hollow Knight Silksong. The official price and release date is official now, and this is what it's going to be. Hollow Knight Silksong is going to be released on September 4th, 2025, and here's a bit of a shocker. It's only going to cost you $20, which is really fantastic because this game is highly looked for. I don't know why I worded it like that, but a lot of people really want to play this, and the fact that it's not like, you know, 60 or 70, especially with prices going higher and it's still staying that $20 compared to other games that probably would have priced at like 60 or 70 is really fantastic in my personal opinion. Now the exact time for Hollow Knight Silksong is going to be on September 4th, 10 a.m. EST, 7 a.m. PST, 4 p.m. CEST, and then 11 p.m. JST. For me personally, I don't really have a lot of money going around right now, so unless there is a physical version I can rent from Gamefly, I'll probably have to wait on that, but I'm sure you guys will tell me how it is down in the comment section below. Moving on to the next topic, we do have some Borderlands 2 Nintendo Switch. I don't know why I said Borderlands 2. Borderlands 4 Nintendo Switch 2 news, which is pretty fantastic for other games from Gearbox coming to Nintendo Switch 2. So this is what Nintendo Everything has to say. Pitchford, who now just wrapped up his work on Borderlands 4, told Games Radar that Nintendo Switch 2 is an awesome machine. I'm so grateful for it. He feels that the platform is less about innovating and more about perfecting and giving us what we want and what works. Now when asked about other Gearbox games, this is what he had to say. I love Switch, I love my Switch 2. And I think without getting in trouble and trying to talk about things that are far from the future, we love making games and we love entertaining people, and we want to be on the platforms where the people want us to be are. Randy Pitchford goes on to say more, but essentially what he's saying is, yeah, we love the platform and we want to bring more of our games to it, but we can't talk about it right now. Which I think that's something that we all expected. A lot of these games and a lot of these developers are bringing games to the Nintendo Switch 2. One thing that I'm kind of surprised at is that they're not bringing a lot of games. I mean, we are getting a lot of games, but not as much as I thought we would, and there's a specific or potentially a specific reason for that. So this story was making the rounds. Overclock3D.net has an article that says Nintendo Switch 2 dev kit shortage is dampening interest in the system. Now, even before the Nintendo Switch 2 was released, I could have sworn we had some articles coming out that were talking about the dev kits and how there wasn't really a lot of them going around. I could be wrong on that, but now we're seeing some of that, and it does make a lot of sense as to why we're not getting a lot of games from third-party developers on the Nintendo Switch 2, especially like during the June showcases. I was kind of surprised that we didn't see a lot of third-party games saying, hey, this is coming to Switch 2. And now it seems that that problem is still coming, and this is coming from developers too. So this is what they had to say. The Switch 2 launched several months ago, and today the console is readily available through retailers. Despite this, developers are still having trouble by getting their hands on dev kits for the console, hampering game development for the platform. After discussing this with plenty of developers, Digital Foundry's John Linneman, Jesus man, I probably said that wrong, apologize if I did, said that Nintendo seems to be almost discouraging Switch 2 development to some degree, later saying that the developers were told to release their games on Switch 1 and rely on backwards compatibility for Switch 2. Yes, developers are actively discouraged from developing bespoke game versions of Nintendo Switch 2 console. So that's kind of weird that they're not giving them a lot of dev kits. So what they say in the article is Digital Extremes confirmed last month that its lack of Switch 2 dev kits is preventing them preventing the company from releasing an enhanced Switch 2 version of Warframe. See, now that's really weird to me because Warframe is pretty big and it's always getting all these updates, so you would think that they would give them enough dev kits. I really, again, just like the article says, it is kind of weird and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Since this is the Switch 2 and Nintendo probably wants to make sure this thing sells as much as it can, you would think that getting more games would draw more people to the platform and people pick up the Switch 2 because their favorite games are on the Nintendo Switch 2, which would obviously make them sell more. So I don't get why they're limiting dev kits, especially after the release of the Nintendo Switch 2. This article was released last week, I think. So I'm hoping they actually just do bring more dev kits to these developers so we can get more third-party games on the Nintendo Switch 2 that hopefully do run well. I think Nintendo having them rely on backwards compatibility is kind of dumb. Why not let them take advantage of the Nintendo Switch 2? I mean, that's a whole point of the Switch 2 is to just be more powerful. I mean, yes, the mouse function is new and there's other things here and there, but essentially it's just Nintendo perfecting what was already very, very good with the Nintendo Switch 1. So if that was the whole goal of the console, you would think that you would let the developers do what the console is supposed to do and what you made it for, right? That just makes sense. That being said, the next topic is pretty exciting for me personally. I know some people don't like the Injustice games. I personally like them. I liked Injustice 1 more than 2. I wasn't really too fond of the gear system in 2, but I love the storyline. Though. But recently we have gotten some new updates. This was on the 29th. DCU update says George Newbern confirms he's working on Injustice 3. Now this is something that I've been wanting to see for a very long time, and considering that a lot of fighting games are hitting the Nintendo Switch 2 already, even on launch we had some fighting games, I think more than likely this is probably going to hit the Nintendo Switch 2 as well, and I really do hope so because Injustice is one of those fighting games that I really like to get into. I'm not really too big of a fan of like Mortal Kombat or any of the other ones, but Injustice was always one that I really liked just because I like DC characters, and I'm a big fan of like alternate universes and all that kind of stuff. Moving on to the next bit, High on Life was released for the Nintendo Switch 2, and they do have some things that are on the platform that do give us some enhanced versions compared to like other platforms. So of course you have the support for the Joy-Con 2 mouse controls according to Stealth40k over on Twitter, improved VFX quality, upgraded texture quality, higher frame rate, enhanced resolution, up to 1080p resolution at 30 FPS gameplay with the Nintendo Switch dock. I still have to play this game. I have seen some clips on it and I've even seen like some streamers playing it, and there are some funny bits, so I might check it out. The next topic is actually kind of interesting. It has to do with Cyberpunk 2077, and it really does showcase the amount of people who do like physical games. So Physical Release plays physical on the Twitter account. If you want to follow him, it's going to be Physic Releases. He said, according to CD Projekt Red, over 75% of Cyberpunk's 2077 sales on Nintendo Switch 2 come from physical releases. And that's very interesting because myself, I like physical games. I like having the actual game on the cartridge. That's why I'm not too much of a big fan of the game key cards. That really just stems from almost losing my entire digital library on, I think, I can't remember the platform. It wasn't Steam, it was Origin. It was Origin. I had all the information to prove that it was my account, and they just said, nope, that's not your account, and I almost lost it. Thankfully, I eventually got in because I remembered the password somehow. Like, ever since then, it almost happened with PlayStation as well, which would have been horrible because that's like, what, 10, 15 years of downloaded games? That would have sucked. But like ever since then, I don't really like buying digital unless I absolutely have to, like if the game is digital only, or if it's like on sale and I still have the disc and it's like, well, this is only like $5 and I don't have to keep putting the disc in, I might as well, right? But overall, I do try to avoid digital games, and this is good because it means there is a crowd who do like physical. Actually, let me know in the comment section below, do you like physical or digital? Let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, that is all the topics for today. The next video is going to be on the Nintendo Direct stuff, so that's going to be uploading tomorrow. This is just a video kind of just to get back to it. I haven't been really uploading too much. I've been focusing on the 3D models. I still have a ton of stuff to do. I got all the models for the other characters. I'm currently learning how to animate water in Blender, so that's been interesting. I made the world. I got a skybox going, and I definitely do want to do like different other things. I don't know, like the Pikmin that I was talking about in one of my other videos, but we'll see. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.